It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
I'm Molly Roberts.
And I'm Drew Goins. Each Friday on Impromptu, we talk through the questions we can't stop thinking about.
Do we need to rethink how much we drink?
Why are companies really asking workers to come back to the office?
Does boycotting a business actually work?
Should we quit social media?
We're here when the news gets personal and the headlines hit home.
Join Molly and me every Friday on Impromptu from Washington Post Opinions.
Find Impromptu wherever you get your podcasts.
It's finally Friday. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And on Monday, we'll be live on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly, MrMokelly. Get in line now. You can go over to YouTube and then subscribe to my channel at Mr. Mo Kelly, and you'll be ready for, and it's going to be live. It's not like we're just going to tape the show and then put it up as like a video podcast after the fact. It's going to be live. The train wreck is going to happen live and in real time. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I just know that we're going to do it. We're going to do it live. We're going to do it live, just like Bill O'Reilly. We'll do it live. That's going to be on Monday. What time? Of course, this time, 7 o'clock. Same bat time, different bat channel. Going to have a big weekend in front of me, and I hope you have a big weekend planned for yourself. I know, given the tariff news and the stock market, people might be a little bit on edge. People might be done with news, or at least hearing bad news, and I can understand that. I can empathize with that. I mean, I had a week as well. I'm not even going to get into it. I just had a long week. And after this long week, I have to come in and look at Mark Ronner. And it's like, damn.
You're welcome.
Hi, Mr. Ronner. How you doing tonight?
I'm okay. I usually watch horror movies on the weekend, but instead I think I'll just check my 401k.
Ooh. But horror movies aren't real. That horror is real.
Yeah, you can't get off this roller coaster.
Oh, my goodness. And it's going to be going for quite some time, I'm quite sure. But I'm not going to start there. Just want to make sure I let my boys know, my family know. I appreciate you. Twala Sharp, producer of the show. How you doing tonight?
Fantastic. Glad to have made it to this fantastic Friday. A lot of fun in store. This is what I do to have fun. People say, so what do you do for fun? We have fun on Late with Mo Kelly. This is our fun.
No disrespect to anyone else. No disrespect to anyone else. But I struggle to imagine anyone who has more fun than we do. I don't know. I could be wrong. I doubt it. We have way too much fun. Way too much fun. Let me put it this way. We'll hang out together. We'll text each other at all hours of the night, usually inappropriate things. But, you know, we enjoy each other's company, and hopefully you enjoy our company. Now, this weekend is going to be full for me because I have to teach Hapkido from 9 to noon, and then I'm going to go out to Torrance for the Bunkasai Japanese Cultural Festival. Going to get some good food, watch a judo presentation, and all sorts of things. Get more exposed to Japanese culture. And then Sunday, I'm going to be at Wiggle Waggle Walk. Hope to see you. So if you come out on Sunday to Brookside Park, I'll be out there with my wife and my two dogs, Riley and Benson. Riley will be the one who's always barking at everyone and everything. Very difficult to control. Has no He's a badass kid. That's the only way I can describe it.
Even still?
Oh, yeah. He was a pandemic dog. So he had like the first 8 months of his life not being acclimated to people other than me and my wife and my immediate family. So everyone is a threat. Everyone is like, and we go outside, we go on a walk. Anytime he's on the leash, we say, no barking, no barking. You know, if you make any type of, if you could be walking across the street away in a different direction, he's going to bark uncontrollably like you're a threat. It's like, person. It's like, yes, Riley, I know. Person. So he will be there Sunday. And you won't need to ask which one is Benson and which one's Riley. Benson is the one who's usually relatively quiet and well-behaved. Riley's the one who's rambunctious. He's fat, and he's just barking at everything and everyone, at least when he's on a leash. It'll be a good time. It's good to get them out and have them run around as best they can and get some dog treats and everything. So come join me at least at Brookside Park this Sunday for a Wiggle Waggle dog walk. I will be out there, I'm thinking like maybe 9 a.m. or so. I'm not going to go on the actual walk. I'm just going to be there having the dogs walk me.
Okay.
It's going to be a full weekend. What do you have on tap?
Sunday, I will be in Altadena finishing clearing out my house. So I'll be there around 9, emptying out the house, throwing stuff away, and trying to prepare the house for some deep cleaning and sanding and hopefully some revitalization, maybe within the next month or 2 months, 3, 4, maybe 5 months, 6 maybe. Who knows when we'll be back.
Yeah, I sympathize and empathize because I saw your neighborhood. It doesn't exist.
That's a bad look. It's a bad look. But and this is why I can tell you for a fact that even in this, God is good, because every time I go back to the neighborhood, I'm running into one of my neighbors whose entire house burned down. There is no structure to speak of, who remind me that our house is a reminder of what the neighborhood looked like. My house, the few houses that are there, there's like about 5.5 houses there. They say like, this is what the neighborhood looked like. We can even reimagine what rebuilding looks like because these houses are here. That is a sobering thought right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as exciting as Wiggle Waggle Walk, but we'll be in the same neighborhood for the most part.
You and I were talking off air, it's just things, but sometimes they're very important things.
Yeah. I'm still fighting mad about your thing though.
Well,
because your thing had disrespect tied into it.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. I'm in a decent mood right now. I'm trying to keep it right there. Yeah. Hey, Stephen, what you got into? What are you going to get into this weekend?
Oh, nothing exciting. It's always just this and then doing Uber.
Oh, you are driving regularly again?
Yeah, it's a regular thing now on the weekends.
Wow. When do you sleep? Do you sleep?
Kind of like Nick. Just I try to sleep when I can, but otherwise I'm always working.
Because you do have a full-time job,
Yeah, exactly.
You have a full-time job, and you said it on air before, you help care for your father.
Yeah.
That has amount of time associated with it as well. And you do an Uber, I don't know.
On top of that.
Oof.
Trying to get like me, Foosh.
And then there's like Mark Ronner, who doesn't do anything except, watch movies all day.
That's it. I just stay in a fetal position the whole weekend.
I thought about Mark though, because the my Google thing said Tubi. Oh, check out Top Secret?
Top Secret with Val Kilmer?
With Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And it was on Tubi.
Yeah, that's got Peter Cushing in it. That's a fun movie.
It's fun. It's funny. I was just reviewing it today. And speaking of Val Kilmer, during our game of Name That Movie Cult Classic tonight, all the movies will be Val Kilmer as we salute him and celebrate him, his tremendous talent and wonderful contributions to the world of cinema. All the movies, all 10, will be Val Kilmer movies. That's the good news. The bad news is we don't have any prizes for you, so we're just playing for fun. Hey, you know what?
Hey, Mark, look, Mark, we can give away pints of your blood if you like. Or we can give away locks of your luscious hair.
Well, that got dark real fast, didn't it?
No, I'm just saying, like, if we're all manning playing for fun, we can always give away pieces of Mark.
We all know that there's a caller in Georgia who would love to get a piece of Mark.
I'm just saying, a lovely lock of hair.
Okay, let's just tamp that down.
We didn't say from the top of your head either.
How do you know there's any anywhere else?
Go ahead and correct me if you like.
I'll show you. Let me just stand up here.
No. Thank God we don't have the YouTube stream up yet.
It's not ready yet. Okay, all right.
We got that and so much more. When we come back, we're going to talk about this controversial possible ban, which could be coming down, where teenagers could be banned from riding in the front seat. No more calling shotgun. Distinct possibility. We'll tell you about it.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
Next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Don't you remember growing up, yelling shotgun? Someone goes to the car, and someone has to sit in the front seat, right? So someone has to claim the front seat. So I got shotgun. I got shotgun. I remember doing that. That may be going away for a lot of people, depending on how old you are and depending on how tall you are. Get this. And when Tawala showed me this story, I said, this can't be real. This can't be real. Traffic safety advocates are pushing for a controversial bill that would ban teens up to 16 years old from sitting in the front seat if they're not at least 4 feet 9 inches. The bill would require all children younger than 10 to use booster seats and would bar all those under 13 from sitting in the front seat, period. The pending measure also would require children as old as 13 to use a booster seat unless they meet the height criteria of 4 feet 9 inches. If you don't know, current California law requires children to use booster seats until they turn 8 or reach a height of 4 feet 9 inches. Though the California Highway Patrol recommends all children younger than 13 to sit in the back. I wonder how would that work? Well, it wouldn't work because I had a 2-seater back in the day. I had a Honda S2000. There was no back seat. So are we saying that? Well, I guess it is saying that if you're not 4 feet 9 and you're under the age of 16 and under, your ass is going to have to get in the back.
Put him in the trunk.
Well, it's interesting you said that because we did a lot of stupid stuff back in the day.
The drive-in trick?
No, just riding in the trunk. Just riding in the trunk.
You've never ridden in a trunk?
I think I hid in a wheel well to get into a drive-in for free once.
I've been in a trunk. I'm not going to tell you why, but I was in a trunk. I've been in the back of a pickup truck like 7 other people. It was a Nissan, how they drop and lower their... And we were back in the back of the bed of the truck.
That's always safe.
It was not safe at all. Not even a little bit safe. But we did it. And I'm here to say I'm still alive. I drank water out of the garden hose, damn it, too.
You played with jarts.
Yes, I did. I threw them straight up in the air and dodged them when they came down. I played with firecrackers as well.
And mumbledy peg, all the old-time dangerous stuff.
I just don't understand how we got to the point where, hey, you're 15, your ass has to sit in the back seat. I remember growing up, cars didn't even have seat belts, and they had those bench seats.
Yes.
This is pre-bucket seats.
Is this pre-Ralph Nader when you grew up?
Yes.
Even before the bucket seats, I remember my mom's Datsun B210. We did not have to have the seatbelt on the back of that leather-seated monstrosity. That thing was so hot it'd make you sick.
You had the Datsun B210?
The B210. Man.
Second only to like the Pinto or the Gremlin. Those are beautiful.
If you're not old enough to remember, Nissan used to be Datsun. And I know someone like under the age of 30 is like, what's a Datsun?
What is a Datsun?
It's a pre-Nissan. That's what it is. But, Datsun were some of the earlier Japanese cars in America. It was Honda and Datsun.
Sporty.
And then I think Toyota came later.
I had a 280Z in college.
Oh. Are you serious?
I mean,
those were so sporty.
Well, it was a rusted out pile of crap,
Didn't
but it was
matter.
still a 280Z.
Yeah, it was a 280Z. The 280s and the 300s were fantastic. But that's a great point because that was another two-seater car that you would not be able to take a teenager to school in. Now, Tawala, your daughter is tall enough given this.
Yes. No, when I first saw this, I was like, man, I like picking her up and saying, hey, get in the front, especially because I don't like looking like Uber. Like I'm just picking up some kid and they're in the backseat of my car. No, I'm like, get in the front. I am not your chauffeur. But when I saw this, I said, damn, now she's going to be like, now I can't get in the front. But because she is like 5'3" now.
I just saw her. She was 5'1" when I last saw her.
Yes. No, she like that. That's how, like that. That's how they go. Like that. Like that. Golly. Yeah.
I don't think this is going to pass. I don't think it's going to get to the point where it's going to pass. I hope it doesn't pass.
Hey. Look where we're at right now.
I know.
We never thought we'd be where we are right now.
Well, yeah, nothing should surprise anyone at this point.
Yes.
But I'm glad that I won't have to deal with it ostensibly unless I'm taking someone else's very young kid somewhere, which is possible. And, if I'm transporting students to a tournament or something like that,
right,
that might be an issue. But I just can't imagine putting a 13-year-old in a car seat. I just can't.
Well, I mean, this right here to me, this comes from the same mindset of the ban the food dyes in the vending machines at the schools where there's other things to worry about. The same kind of individuals who think that that's where we need to be at, they come up with stuff like this.
They're proposing that violators would face tickets of $20 for a first offense and $50 for each subsequent offense. You know what? I'll take my chances.
I think even putting a car seat would be great for a teenager's self-esteem, too.
Well, how about, have one of those booster seats at a restaurant so they could just appear taller.
Yeah.
Put them in a booster seat in the front seat. Look, it was bad enough. Everyone's gone through, you're dropping your kid off at school and they're like, Dad. Imagine them getting out of the car and with the booster seat in plain view as a 12 or 13-year-old.
Yeah, because school's not merciless enough as it is.
I would have gotten in a fight with my parents. Lost. Don't get me wrong. My father would have beat my ass, but I would be going down swinging.
Did you come to school in your car seat today?
What's the matter? You're not 4'9"? When I was growing up, no, I wasn't. So This would have had implications. This would have really impacted me. It was bad enough that I wore glasses. It was bad enough that my name was Morris. In the 19th, why are you laughing? You're not supposed to be laughing at that. We got guests in the studio. You're not supposed to be laughing at my name. It was bad enough. Now imagine rolling up to Cali Mayor Middle School in Torrance, where my father was teaching, and he would bring me to work because he was a band teacher there in his little Dookie Brown Honda. It was one of those real tiny ones when Honda first came on the scene. I don't know what I would do if I had to open the door with a car seat.
Yeah.
Or get out of the car from the back seat. That would just be so demeaning.
Now, see, no. Right now, even still, it doesn't matter about the back seat. Kids don't care. It's like, because I think kids right now, they feel now more like they're being chauffeured or Ubered around.
Oh.
Kids don't really mind that. Like literally, it's a fight now
That's
for me
true,
to get my
you can't
daughter
monitor
into
them
the
on
front
the phone.
seat. Yeah, they're back there just chilling, talking, doing whatever. And even when I pick up, like, say, my daughter and her friends, they all rush to get into the back seat. I'm like, is there something wrong with the front seat? I don't drive that crazy. I really don't.
I guess they don't want to be seen next to you. Well, I don't know. I think
it's almost like sit next to your parents. Ugh, that's horrible. The torture. So they want to be in the back, but still, there are some kids who fight for the front.
I've always wanted shotgun. I've always wanted that. I don't know. Maybe because there were no distractions back in the day. When you're getting in the car, when I was in school, we didn't have a phone. There was even no Walkman. And I know what it is because if you were a shotgun, you usually had some say as far as the radio.
You had some say on the dial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not final say, but you had some say.
Because lots of times if you got shotgun, the driver would give you that first test of trust to say, find us something to listen to, find some riding music. And if you did a good job, well, that's it. You're now the co-pilot. You're not just shotgun, you're the co-pilot.
And that was the only type of entertainment when you're driving back in the day. Now, it's not a big deal. It's like, what's a car radio? KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. We have some baseball news when we come back. Anaheim Angels. They may want to have they may change something about themselves. I think they're going to be trans. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
The Angels franchise has had an identity issue since it first came to, let's be honest, L.A. Because when the Angels came to L.A., they were originally the Los Angeles Angels from 1961 to 1965. And then from 1966 to 1996, they were known as the California Angels. I tend to think of them as the California Angels. Then, after Disney took control of the team in 97, the team was renamed to the Anaheim Angels. Then, 2005, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, they were named because they had a new owner at that point, and now the present owner, Artie Moreno. In 2016, they were changed back to the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the reason is they wanted it to be identified with a larger market. Obviously, anyone from Southern California, yes, Anaheim is in the greater Los Angeles metro, but Anaheim is not Los Angeles as in municipality. So if you talk to anyone from Orange County, they're not claiming Los Angeles County at all. But when you are marketing a professional sports franchise, you want to be able to see, like, for example, there's a reason why the Patriots call themselves the New England Patriots as opposed to the Boston Patriots. Even though they're in Boston, you want to be able to be attractive to a wider demographic. If you say New England, you get your fans from Maine and Vermont and what have you. That's why you have the Minnesota Twins as opposed to the Minneapolis Twins. Or you have the Colorado Rockies as opposed to the Denver Rockies. You want to make yourself as appealing to a larger space and area as possible. In that regard, that's part of the reason why at one point the Angels were known as the California Angels, not Los Angeles or Anaheim. But now Anaheim's mayor, the reason why we're talking about this, Anaheim Mayor Ashleigh Aitken penned an open letter about the Angels' future, but addressed it to owner Artie Moreno, and has called for the team to be named for the city it actually represents. Quote, acknowledge the greatness of Anaheim's history and its contributions to Orange County by recognizing, in all caps, Anaheim prominently as the team's location and partner. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I'm just saying, as someone who follows sports, I know what Artie Moreno was hoping to accomplish. Now, they'll never be on par with the Dodgers. Yes, I said it, and yes, I meant it. They'll never be on par with the Dodgers. They will always be the stepchild in this market. It's the same with the Clippers. It's the same with the Chargers. It's the same with the Ducks, for that matter. The Heritage team, Dodgers. Even though the Dodgers only got to Los Angeles a few years before the Angels. But I understand if you live in Anaheim and you know anything about the history of the team, it has always been closely associated with Anaheim. Yes, it may have started off as Los Angeles Angels, and it may be now Los Angeles Angels, but they're still known, or I should say associated largely with Anaheim, despite any type of naming change along the way. I get what the mayor is doing. I'm surprised that she did it in such a public fashion. Maybe she had a private conversation with Artie Moreno, and Artie said, no, this is my team, and I'm going to do what I want. I believe the team has far more important issues to address, like how in the hell did you let Shohei Ohtani get away for nothing? Let him walk in free agency. I mean, how did that happen? How is it you can't get any help for Mike Trout, who arguably is one of the greatest players of our generation? If he didn't have so many problems with injuries, if he played in Los Angeles like Shohei Ohtani is now, as opposed to Anaheim with the Angels, Mike Trout would have been huge. Most people only know Mike Trout because you're a baseball fan. Everybody knows who Shohei Ohtani is now because he is world famous. And that largely had to do with him coming to the Dodgers. He was already a great player when he played with the Angels, but Tuwala, you don't follow baseball closely. Is that fair? No, I did not. Okay. Were you aware of Shohei Ohtani before he came to the Dodgers?
Even before I knew what a Shohei Ohtani was. Even before. Mike Trout, what? What are you talking about?
Right. That's the unfortunate reality for the Angels, who, in this market, they will always be fighting against the Dodgers as far as notoriety, visibility. And obviously, the Dodgers have won more than the Angels. Now, the Angels have won a World Series, but they just don't have the type of profile which lends itself to extensive media coverage. That's part of the reason why Artie Moreno decided to name the team the Los Angeles Angels, in the way that, you don't say, like back in the day, they weren't called the Inglewood Lakers, even though they played in Inglewood. And the Rams, talking about NFL football, they were still the Los Angeles Rams when they played in Anaheim. Now, there's a discussion to be had about where a team is chartered and where you want to be associated with. And I'm going to go real deep right now. If you talk about NFL football, the New York Jets and the New York Giants both play in New Jersey. A lot of people don't. Yeah. So, but the team is chartered in New York City.
I honestly think you could call them the Anaheim Anglers, and no one would care anymore. I really don't.
The disrespect is
no one really cares about it. No one cares about the Angels. I'm sorry.
The Angels, put it this way, Anaheim, the city, really cares about the Angels. The unfortunate truth is nobody outside of Anaheim does.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to market a team, and this is not a new debate, because that's largely why the team was called, it was changed from the Los Angeles Angels in 1965, changed to the California Angels in 1966. Because even though you live in Bakersfield, the hope was you'd have a team to root for. You could say the California Angels. You may live in Lodi or somewhere upstate or in Clear Lake or something, and you could root for the California Angels as opposed to the Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels. I get both sides, and I know if you're the mayor of Anaheim, you want the credit to go to Anaheim. But in terms of marketing, in terms of visibility, it's probably not something that Artie Moreno wants to do or will do. I mean, since he's had the team, he's always had some sort of name connection to Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or the Los Angeles Angels as they're called now. I often have to correct myself because I usually say the California Angels. I'm just used to saying that.
Really?
And I don't want to give any type of credit as being actual Los Angeles Angels. I still struggle saying Los Angeles Chargers. They're San Diego. Just like the Clippers. They're San Diego. I don't care if they play in L.A. I don't care what Michael Crozier thinks. I hope he's listening right now. Those are the San Diego Clippers.
I don't really acknowledge any other team outside of Dodgers, Lakers, Kings.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just don't. There's certain things that I just don't. And I don't have to be a sports aficionado. I don't have to, watch every game or have sports pass. I just know when it comes to SoCal and our teams, those are our teams. Now, there's some debate to be had on which is the greater Los Angeles football team between the Rams and the Raiders.
No, there isn't.
No.
The Raiders are here for 5 minutes. They were here for a cup of coffee.
And they dominated. Okay. All right. No. We're going to have to go to break
because we're going to have a misunderstanding in the studio. We were doing so well. Okay, I could understand you with everything else, but the Raiders, that's a bridge too far. And I'm looking at Mark Ryerson like, just please, let's just go to the news. I hate sports.
No, this is fascinating. Please continue.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We are live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Now we got to talk about Coyotes when we come back, to be serious, because there are some issues which are going on in a Pasadena neighborhood. And also there was a very prominent actress who had her dog taken by a coyote just days ago.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
There's an efficient way to get caught up on a lot of news. It's called The 7 from The Washington Post. It's a newsletter and podcast. Whether you're reading or hit play, you get 7 stories you need to know, and you can consume it all in just a few minutes. The 7 is out every weekday morning by 7 a.m. Eastern. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'm one of the writers, and I host the show. Find The 7 podcast wherever you're listening. The newsletter link is waiting for you in the show notes.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
We'll tell you about that when we come back.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and starting Monday on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. And we've talked about coyotes and how, for me, they're very problematic. Some people think that they're pets, extended pets, and they'll feed them. They will cater to them. Coyotes in my neighborhood, they go around my house, and I've shown to all of the video every single night, 2 or 3 at a time. They are pack hunters. And I have 2 small dogs, and what separates them is a fence, which is 10 feet high, so it's too high for them to jump. But they eventually, hopefully, will not get smart enough to come all the way around the neighborhood and try to jump in through the other side of the fence. That's my concern. And I've said it many times, and I have no problem saying it. Since we can't do anything about them legally, it's not like I can call 311 and they'll do something about them. Oh, yeah, you can pay for someone to put down traps, but that's really expensive. But they keep coming back. Part of the reason why they keep coming back is they know it's a constant food source when people have their trash cans out, which I'm not blaming people for. But I do blame those individuals who may feed them thinking like they're cute pets or something. No, they're wild animals, and they will harm your child, and they will harm your pets. I mention that because in Pasadena, there is a neighborhood who is being terrorized by multiple coyotes, chasing people and their dogs. And this is right at Euclid Avenue and California Boulevard. I know it well. And they're coming out in the daytime. They're coming out in the evening. They're chasing after people who are walking their dogs. And when I walk my dogs, doesn't matter day or night, I have a stick weapon that I'm ready to use on them. And it's not that I would use it on someone else's pet dog. I would just use my feet to just push them away. But if it's a coyote and it should run at us, I need to have something other than just my hands. This is going to be a problem. No. Yeah, this is going to be a problem up until someone's child gets harmed. Then they'll say, we need to do something. And I've had some fun with this, but now I'm being absolutely serious about this. There's an actress, her name is Sarah Shockey. You may know her from Paradise. She was on the show Paradise, who played the psychologist. She was on a Netflix series show called Sex Life. She starred opposite of Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam. She was a female love interest in Black Adam. She lost her dog this week. She was talking about it on social media, how a very small dog was taken by a coyote. To have that on video and hearing your dog die is something that I could not even imagine, don't even want to imagine. But some of this is avoidable because we've tolerated the coyotes. There's no need for them. I mean, there's no need to tolerate them. They should be treated as a menace and rounded up when they're found and relocated somewhere where they cannot hurt people, pets, small children. Tawala, that's just my experience, and I see coyotes every single day around my house. I can't even speak for your experiences.
In Pasadena and Altadena, the blood-curdling cries of animals being murdered at night by coyotes, murdered during the day by coyotes, the yip, 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 and the howl to call others to come around so they can pack rat an animal. And now during the daytime, and Euclid and California, those areas are not near the mountains.
No, they're not
coming down into the city, meaning that a lot of the damage from the fire, a lot of where the coyotes were finding their meals by homeowners who are, we've built our homes in their neighborhoods and now we must help to feed them. All those individuals who want to lay out food for the coyotes and their dogs and the raccoons and every other critter that comes around. Now these coyotes don't have that because all of that is burned down. So now they're forced to go further inland, coming down from the mountains to forage for food. And they've already been desensitized and they no longer fear humans. So you walking with your dog, it's like, well, you're one of those things that feed us. Why am I worried about you? I'm here for your dog. I'm here for that snack that you're walking around on a rope.
And they're more desperate because in certain areas of Altadena, there's no more neighborhood. There's no normal trash pickup.
Yeah.
They're not the people who would be there feeding them, or the dog food, which may be left in someone's backyard that they may be using as an opportunity to eat. They're much more desperate, which means they're much more dangerous.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And still, though, I don't see from any reports what is actually going to happen in Pasadena or Altadena to do something about these animals, because trapping and releasing them isn't working. You can't kill them. If you're lucky enough to run one down, okay, but these things are fast. They're hard to hit one.
They're fast and they reproduce relatively quickly. They live, I think, maybe 5 or 6 years. I don't know how long, but you know, they can develop a population rather quickly. And you ask, what is going to be done, or when is something going to be done? When someone gets hurt, when someone's child is attacked, and not before. You have plenty of pet attacks, and obviously that's not enough to motivate our local governments to do anything. You'll have someone, unfortunately, will have their child attacked, and then they'll feel the need to do something, but not before. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We are live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
News without the skew.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Ryan Seacrest here When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
There's an efficient way to get caught up on a lot of news. It's called The 7 from the Washington Post. It's a newsletter and podcast. Whether you're reading or hit play, you get 7 stories you need to know, and you can consume it all in just a few minutes. The 7 is out every weekday morning by 7 a.m. Eastern. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'm one of the writers, and I host the show. Find The 7 podcast wherever you're listening. The newsletter link is waiting for you in the show notes.